Woo! I'm back. And what do I follow it up with in my epic return? Let's do the truth behind the breakup of Little Brother, the rap group. Now, everybody loves Little Brother. If you're a hip-hop fan, if you're a Tribe Called Quest type brother back in the day, you know Little Brother was your group. Now, I'm not going to say I was with Little Brother from the beginning. I remember the Minstrel Show because everybody I know had that CD. If you was a person in hip-hop that was a rapper, this was a rapper's CD. Rappers bought it. I never even heard of their first album. I had to go back and cop the first album, The Listening, after hearing the Minstrel Show. And what their rhymes are like, complete story rap. Each song is completely different from the last. That's the difference with Little Brother. You can tell this was great. The music was different. It was more like a score of a movie. And the work was so good, it got everybody's attention. Of the producer, Ninth Wonder. Now, when they first started the group, it was Ninth Wonder, Fonte, and Big Pooh, the rapper. And they got managed by Big Doe was doing their management at the time. And then they had some crew that they was in called the Just Us League. And that was the name of the group that they were all rapping in. My man Tone, who put on these shows out in North Carolina, like all these different hip-hop shows, Tone was the one that was like, look, man, these dudes here, like, they for real. Don't ever think like these dudes are phony or these dudes ain't these guys are for real. So whatever you do, support these brothers. I heard it, but I ain't really, gravitated to it like that. Now, once the Listening comes out in 2003, people were up on it, and I didn't even know anything about it. Like, rappers knew, like, what was going on with that. And when the group came out with that joint, The Listening, when they were working on the album, Jay-Z actually took one of their beats for the song that he had for the Black Album called Threat, because it was so wicked when he was in there working on it. And he was like, man, he had a chance to work with Hov. And after they did Threat, and Threat is more like a score. So when he's doing the song, if you listen to Threat on the Black Album, you get the type of beat that Ninth Wonder brings to the table. And the type of, the different variety. But that was a track that was for Little Brother. But, that's Jay-Z. So, of course, Ninth Wonder started to get a lot of more appeal than the guys in the group. And pretty soon, when the Minstrel album came out, the second joint, the one I got, it was basically the most buzz they got is the beef with Jeezy and they got when they was talking about the drug rap thing. That's it. Other than that, it didn't really go that far. The Minstrel Show was the one everybody talked about, and we had that album, but other than that, it wasn't really promoted. Their record label was going through a lot at the time. They was with Atlantic. The A&R was an idiot, and he didn't look at the album like, man, there ain't nothing on here I could put out as a single. We need to make money now, So with all of this going on, they're not really getting the attention that they deserve, while they're focusing more on this thug rap thing. So the whole controversy with Fonte going at it with the drug rap, and that's where everybody's pushing towards and gravitating towards the Jeezy and them type raps. Groups like this are dying out. So now you have a new scenario, a new problem. And the problem is you got money is short. You got to do shows to make money. Everybody's not paid the same. And now you got one person saying, well, we can't keep Ninth Wonder because Ninth Wonder is basically holding the best beats, not for us. His thing is we're secondary. He's got Beyonce now. He's got Jay-Z. He's got Wale. He's got all these other people now. Ninth Wonder done blew up. So he's basically bigger than the group. So Atlantic and all these people, they more concerned about Ninth Wonder. And with them not really working with them, you know, they started to work on the Get Back album. And the Get Back album was like, okay, this is it. You know, we finna get back and, you know, we finna do what we do. The Get Back album came out and it didn't really do too much. You know, they was basically independent. They broke up with Atlantic. They broke up with Ninth Wonder. You know, and the album just didn't do anything. You know, they went with I think Mick Boogie was the DJ at the time, but the album didn't really take off. And then when they went to do the shows, Fonte is like, look, man, we need to split everything 50-50. So Doe was like, look, that's not how it worked. You know, we put up this money and this and that, and Big Pooh was like, look, we gotta split because we boys, but you gotta understand, we put up all the money in the beginning and this is the cut. You know, this is this and this is that. So Fonte started working with other producers and doing other side projects to make money. You know, Fonte was like, I need more money because I need to be doing other things and I shouldn't have to be slumming it. We got albums out. We doing this. We need to be doing these shows. We need to be moving here. We need to be doing that. You know, y'all mostly looking out business-wise. You and Doe is doing what's best for y'all. Ain't nobody thinking about Fonte. And Pooh and Fonte, they came into this thing together and they was boys. But he feeling like you getting all the breaks, you getting all the money, y'all planning to do whatever, and I ain't getting nothing. You know, y'all seeing some money and I ain't. So even though they went and did their little side projects on the side, both of them did. They went and dropped their little solo albums, you know, and, you know, mixtapes and what have you. So everybody was cool. They came back together because they took a little break, but they still weren't, you know, seeing eye to eye with this project. But they came back together just for this album because they like, look, let's get back together, put this album out, get this money, do these shows, then we can go do our own thing. So this is the last Little Brother album we're going to do because we're entitled to do one more album of Little Brother. Let's just drop this album and then I ain't got to really see you no more. So Fonte and them just said, look, man, we won't do business together because every time we do, we argue. So Fonte and Pooh decided, look, we're going to go ahead, do this project, put it together, the Left Back album. And while they were making it, they mind state is on, we ain't going to be together. So this is the worst album they ever put out, too. It's got like maybe 3 songs on it that's even worth it. I'm telling you, the whole album is you could feel the separation in the album. You could feel that nobody's really vibing with each other on the album. And then it's like, cool, we are done. That's it. That we are completely through. Okay, we completed the album. We're done. Now, they did reconnect and come back together to do a show. It's always about money. It's always about money. You know, Pooh wanted to go out and do his own thing. He understands the business. Fonte really didn't understand the business. And then he's just saying, you know, when you're doing business with a friend, you got to decide, you know, to end the business relationship and keep the friendship, or do you continue to do business with a person and then you end up wrecking both of them? Which is a very true statement. Because if they would have continued, they would have never spoke to each other again. And this is what I'm talking about. When people come in as homeboys, things break up because people want, like, man, we boys. They don't look at the business side. They just look like, man, forget all that business. We boys. You know, let's do it because we boys. Look out for me. But it's always one-sided when people do that. It's never 2 sides to that story. It's always one way. Have you ever noticed that? Always one-sided. So it was always about money. That was it. Nothing more, nothing less. Everybody wasn't getting paid the same, and Little Brother split up. But they'll come back and do a show, though, if you got the paper. But you can go back and cop those albums and get caught up and get brought up to speed. But the Minstrel album was the listening is actually great. Production-wise, it was amazing. You know, I really liked that one. But I came in on the Minstrel one, so that's it. I'm gone.